I once hosted my in-laws on a rock-hard, metal bar-poking nightmare of a pull-out couch. Nobody slept, and everyone was miserable. Finding a modern sleeper sofa that doesn't ruin your back or clash with your living room decor feels completely impossible. After weeks of testing, pulling, sitting, and actually sleeping on countless options, I've found the absolute best ones that look gorgeous and feel like real beds. Which one finally saved my guest room? Let's count down the top 7. 7. Folding sofa bed. When this folding sofa bed first arrived, I was admittedly skeptical because it comes vacuum sealed in a surprisingly small box. The setup process is virtually non-existent, which is a blessing if you're tired of wrestling with heavy furniture and confusing Allen wrenches. You simply unpack it, let the foam expand for a few hours, and you immediately have a low-profile, casual seating arrangement. Visually, it has a very laid-back, dorm room aesthetic that might blend into a playroom or a casual den, but definitely lacks the structural presence of a traditional living room sofa. Testing it as an everyday seat revealed a very specific type of comfort. Because it is essentially just folded blocks of foam, you're sitting incredibly low to the ground. The fabric cover is reasonably soft to the touch, and leaning back against a wall provides enough support for watching a quick YouTube video or playing a video game. However, without any rigid internal frame, the backrest relies entirely on whatever is behind it, meaning it cannot confidently stand alone in the center of a room. The real test came when I unfolded it for a night of sleep, and this is where the reality of its budget-friendly design became glaringly obvious. When laid completely flat, the foam segments spread out, but the seams where the cushions connect create noticeable ravines right under your lower back. Furthermore, because the foam isn't incredibly dense, I found myself sinking right through it and feeling the hard hardwood floor underneath me within a couple of hours. Waking up the next morning, my shoulders and hips were incredibly stiff. Ultimately, this folding sofa bed serves a very specific, limited purpose. 6. Homfa Modern Sleeper Sofa. Right out of the box, the sheer size of this U-shaped 6-seat sectional is imposing, and the assembly process took the better part of an afternoon. It boasts an array of modern conveniences, including a built-in storage chaise and integrated USB charging ports, which immediately made me think this could be the ultimate living room anchor. The gray linen fabric gives it a clean, contemporary look that photographs quite well. Sitting on the Homfa initially feels like a massive upgrade, primarily because there is just so much space to spread out. The storage chaise is a brilliant touch, easily swallowing up all my extra guest blankets and pillows with room to spare. The USB ports function perfectly, allowing me to keep my phone topped up while lounging. However, as I spent more time sitting on it, I noticed that the linen fabric feels surprisingly scratchy and abrasive on bare skin, lacking that inviting softness you want from your primary couch. The transition from sofa to sleeper is where my frustration truly began to build. The pull-out mechanism operates on a track system hidden beneath the center seats, but pulling it out felt rickety and required a jarring amount of force. Once extended, the trundle section pops up, but it doesn't align perfectly flush with the stationary seat cushions. This creates a distinct, uneven ridge right down the middle of your sleeping area. When I tried to sleep on it, I found myself constantly rolling away from that center gap. Additionally, the overall cushioning of the Homfa is punishingly firm. While firm support can be good for longevity, the foam used here feels stiff and unyielding, offering very little pressure relief for a sleeping guest. 5. HONBAY Convertible Sectional Sleeper Sofa. What makes this piece so incredibly versatile is its modular design, allowing you to configure the layout to perfectly match the dimensions of your room. Putting it together felt less like a chore and more like building a custom piece of furniture. The fabric on this model is remarkably softer than the previous options, offering a gentle, inviting texture that makes you want to curl up with a good book. As an everyday sectional, the HONBAY performs admirably. The seat depth is generous, and the cushions strike a much better balance between bounce and support. You don't feel like you're sinking into a pit, nor do you feel like you're sitting on a park bench. The armrests are slightly on the thinner side, which maximizes seating space but might not be ideal for perching on. Still, the overall lounging experience is cozy, making it a fantastic centerpiece for long movie marathons. When it comes time to host guests, the sleeper conversion is a breath of fresh air compared to cheaper alternatives. The pull-out trundle glides out smoothly on its tracks without squeaking or snagging, and the pop-up mechanism locks firmly into place. Most importantly, the sleeping surface aligns almost perfectly with the rest of the sofa cushions. I spent a full night on this setup and was genuinely impressed. There were no hard wooden beams poking through, and the seams between the cushions were barely noticeable. This HONBAY sectional represents the sweet spot for anyone balancing a moderate budget with a desire for genuine comfort. It looks far more expensive than it is, offers brilliant hidden storage beneath the seats, and provides a legitimately restful night's sleep for visitors. 4. Winzoo 79-inch modular sectional sofa. The Winzoo introduces a fascinating boneless design concept that completely abandons traditional wooden or metal frames. Unboxing this felt like releasing a giant, comfortable cloud into my apartment. It is a tri-folding, floor-style sofa that instantly injects a bohemian, ultra-modern lounge vibe into the space. The tactile experience of the fabric is exceptional, feeling plush and luxurious against the skin, while the overall low profile makes small rooms feel significantly larger and more open. Sitting on the Winzoo is an entirely unique experience. Because there is no rigid frame, the high-density foam completely contours to your body. It sits very low to the ground, which might not be ideal for elderly guests, but for young professionals or those with a relaxed design aesthetic, it is unbelievably cozy. You sink into it just enough to feel cradled, but the foam is dense enough to prevent you from touching the floor. It's the perfect sofa for sprawling out, working on a laptop, or playing with pets. The conversion process is where the genius of this design truly shines. Because it is a tri-folding structure, there are absolutely no mechanical parts to break, squeak, or jam. You simply unfold the thick foam blocks directly onto the floor. Sleeping on it is an absolute dream precisely because there are zero internal springs or metal bars to dig into your back. It essentially functions as a massive, high-quality foam mattress that happens to fold up into a couch. I slept incredibly deeply, surrounded by soft, supportive foam. For apartment dwellers, minimalists, or anyone who hates the mechanical clunkiness of traditional pullouts, the Winzoo is a revelation. 3. Logan Bentura Sleeper Sofa. The very first thing you notice is the stunning corduroy upholstery. In a market flooded with generic gray linens, the deep, textured grooves of the corduroy give this sofa a rich, vintage yet modern character that instantly elevates a room. It arrived in pristine condition, and assembling it was remarkably straightforward, immediately transforming my space with its bold, architectural lines and luxurious finish. The seating experience on the Bentura is nothing short of decadent. The deep seats encourage you to sit back and relax, while the corduroy fabric provides a warm, tactile friction that feels incredibly cozy. The cushions are generously stuffed, offering a plush, sink-in sensation that is brilliantly balanced by a sturdy internal frame. Whether you're hosting a formal gathering or just lounging on a lazy Sunday, it commands a room while providing top-tier, everyday ergonomic support. Converting the Bentura into a sleeper highlights its clever engineering. It utilizes a modular push-together system rather than a complex fold-out bed, meaning you just reconfigure the substantial, uniform pieces to create a large sleeping surface. The beauty of this method is that your guests are sleeping on the exact same high-quality foam that makes the sofa so comfortable in the first place. I found the surface to be expansive, perfectly level, and incredibly supportive edge to edge. The Logan Bentura proves that a sleeper sofa does not have to look like a compromise. It hides its dual functionality perfectly behind high-end fashion and impeccable build quality. The materials feel durable, the design is brilliantly intuitive, and the sleep quality rivals a dedicated guest bed. It is a phenomenal investment piece for anyone who refuses to sacrifice their living room's aesthetic for the sake of an occasional house guest. 2. Novogratz Brittany Futon Sleeper Sofa. Taking out of the box, I was immediately struck by the ribbed, tufted backrest and the elegant, slanted wooden legs. It looks like a carefully curated vintage find rather than a convertible sleeper. The finish on a model I tested was flawless, easily wiping clean and resisting spills, which makes it an absolute lifesaver for households with pets or messy eaters. Despite its sleek, slim profile, the seating comfort is surprisingly robust. It doesn't possess the deep, sink-in plushness of the larger sectionals, but offers excellent, firm lumbar support that promotes great posture. The tufted back provides a nice textural element against your shoulders, and it feels incredibly solid beneath you. It perfectly serves as a stylish sitting room sofa or a chic office addition without ever screaming, "I am a fold-out bed." The sleep conversion is where the Novogratz Brittany earns its stripes. It uses a flawlessly smooth click-clack mechanism. With one hand, you pull the backrest forward until it clicks and then lay it completely flat. The entire process takes literally 2 seconds. Because the cushions are on the firmer side, it provides a highly supportive sleeping surface that is fantastic for aligning the spine. I threw a thin mattress topper over it for my test sleep, and it felt indistinguishable from a standard, high-quality fur mattress. The reason the Novogratz Brittany secures the runner-up spot is its unmatched combination of affordability, flawless style, and reliable functionality. It completely disguises its identity as a futon, offering a stunning mid-century focal point for your home while hiding a genuinely comfortable, instantly accessible bed in plain sight. It is a triumph of accessible modern furniture design. 1. Article Nordby Sofa Bed. From the moment the delivery team brought this into my home, I knew it was in a league entirely of its own. The Scandinavian minimalist design is breathtakingly clean, and the lull blue fabric is vibrant, sophisticated, and incredibly premium to the touch. There are no unnecessary frills or bulky hardware. It is simply a beautifully crafted piece of furniture that commands attention through its elegant simplicity. Sitting on the Nordby is a revelation in ergonomic design. The foam density is the textbook definition of the Goldilocks zone. Plush enough to feel welcoming, but supportive enough that the cushions instantly regain their shape the second you stand up. The armrests are perfectly proportioned, and the seat depth accommodates both upright conversation and horizontal lounging with equal grace. It doesn't just feel like a good sleeper sofa. It feels like one of the best everyday sofas money can buy. But the real magic happens when you pull out the bed. Article has engineered a mechanism that is completely silent and requires virtually zero effort to operate. When extended, it reveals a sleeping surface that is genuinely astonishing. There are absolutely no bars pressing into your back, no sagging in the middle, and no awkward gaps. It feels exactly like a high-end, standalone memory foam mattress. I slept on this flawlessly, waking up without a single ache, completely forgetting I was in the living room. If you want a piece of furniture that compromises on absolutely nothing, the Article Nordby is the ultimate winner. It flawlessly executes the dual mandate of a sleeper sofa. It provides impeccable, museum-quality style for your daily life and a genuinely luxurious, restorative sleeping experience for your guests.